guys all come forward, please? I think we'll go ahead and get started. We have a really big announcement to make today. Some really special guests with us today to make that announcement. And so we're really excited to be here, and we're really thankful to have all of you here with us today. So I want to just take a couple of minutes and briefly describe the wastewater project that we're here. I'm not going to go into great detail because we have some professionals who can talk about that in bigger detail, but we are talking about enhancing Edina's sewer project, wastewater project, and enhancing the 560 plus users that we have in Edina, and allowing them to meet some permitting limits that DNR has. So we're looking forward to that, looking forward to enhancing that project and making actually this overall improvement to the city design, and we know everybody else is looking forward to that too. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Janie Gunning. Janie is our State Director for Missouri Rural Development. She's with us today from Columbia, Missouri. Janie, if you want to come on up. I'll let Janie make the rest of the introductions, and thank you for being with us today. I know you have a really busy schedule this week, so thanks for being with us and taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Understand. I feel like I'm a long way from everybody in the back of the room. I feel like I'm in church, but you know what? I have to say first and foremost, I get to travel around the state and see all of these great projects that these small rural communities are pulling together. And I've worked for rural development for over 45 years, and rural communities deserve the same opportunities that our urban sisters feel. That's harder to make happen, as you all know, as community members, to make happen in a way that is feasible for your users and for the people who use it. I have to tell you, the hardest infrastructure for a community to do from an affordability standpoint is a sewer system. And then once you get that sewer system and maintaining it, federal government, there's things that change. And we all know that rules on environmental change, and all of a sudden you find, even though you've done an outstanding job, and I want to know, where's Brad Idle? I understand you're an award-winning operator.
Several years ago.
So, very, very nice. And the reason I mention that is sometimes you don't get in non-compliance because you're not taking care of a system, or because you're not giving it the attention, or because you're not making the necessary repairs. Sometimes you get out of compliance with the system because the rules change and things start happening. So thank you, Brad, I know that what you've done has made it very, very, last as long as it has. But I will say, we get up every day and we go and we turn on that water and we expect to get, good, clean drinking water. And everybody wants good, clean drinking water, and they're willing to pay a little bit more for that. That sewer system, you go in and you push down that knob on that screw, and nobody cares where that goes. Nobody's thinking, and I venture to bet, one of the big things, reasons we're here today is because it's to celebrate with you, but because it's also Earth Day week. And that brings to our mind, the environment. And these resources are getting pretty fragile. And we have to do everything we can to preserve those resources. That being said, I bet you when you got ready to do this project, you didn't say, I think maybe we better do this sewer system because the environment needs to be protected. I'm just guessing, not what you said. So it's a benefit, and it's something that we all have to be educated for to do that. This is a pretty good chunk of change for y'all to come up with as a small rural community. And I got to share with you, I feel like I'm home. And as I said, I travel around everywhere, but boy, do I love coming back to the northeast part of the state, because we had basketball rivals and softball rivals, and that's been a long time ago, and there's probably nobody in the room that is old enough to remember that. But I'm from Cahokia, Missouri, and the town size is very similar, and the whole environment and the whole community atmosphere is the same. And I know I worked on behalf of that community, trying to do what you all in this room as volunteers do. And when I can come into a community this size and I see all of the work and the efforts on leadership and everything, it really does us good in rural development to be a part of your community and to be able to help you with it. Mayor, where are you? There you are. Are you going to dance with Jake today?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of news we get today.
Well, I think I tell you what, I'll give you a good piece of news if you'll dance a jig with me. Got it? Got it. Okay. What we're going to be announcing today is a wastewater loan in the amount of $2,313,000 and a grant that is $1,047,000 for the city of Edina for their sewer system. Oh yeah, right. My neighbors will be so pleased if that goes on, let me tell you.
This is better than being on The Price is Right.
No, nothing gives us any greater pleasure than to be able to do that. And I do want to give you a little bit of a thought here. You know how hard it is. Sometimes you just get lucky, and sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. And I think some of that just happens because right now, if you've got to borrow money from rural development, now is the best time to do that. This was 1 point. It's less than 2%.
It's one. Yeah, it's like 1.83.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing way. The other thing I want to point out is $1 million in grants. That's probably a difference in affordability for everybody, and no affordability. And I can tell you, y'all see the same news that I see, and you get the same thing that I get, and those grants are diminishing. So to be able to get that $1 million grant is really remarkable. And I want to tell you how special you are. I think it's important to make this point. Last year we put rural development put almost $1 billion, not a million, $1 billion, back into the state of Missouri of taxpayer money. I mean, this money, we're dancing a jig, but it's your money. You're as taxpayers. Of that $1 billion, people think that rural development is a giveaway program, that we give a lot of stuff away. But I want to put in perspective how important this $1 million grant is to you. Of that $1 billion, there's only less than 5% of that money that comes back to the state was in the form of grants. Less than 5%. The rest of it's loans. So, that little 5%. And I think that is a testament of the confidence that my staff have in the city of Edina and their ability to make a system that's going to work and to take care of their customers. So I can talk about the attorneys, the partnerships to get here. I know you didn't do it by yourself. You've got attorneys, you've got engineers, you've got everybody that comes to the table, including the support of the community, or we wouldn't be standing here right now. You would have never got the bond and the so we know that you've got the community support for it. I am going to take one moment and talk about my staff just a minute. There's a lot of things going on with, and we have a lot of customers, a lot of communities such as yourself across the state that need assistance. And the one thing we take great pride in is the fact that we don't just send you paperwork and say go for it and you can figure it out. Great. I think probably Leanne sat across from you many days helping with that. Who got to do the paperwork? Not the mayor. Who did it? Who did it? They're doing this up there. Mark and John. Okay. Well, we all know that federal paperwork is a nightmare. So, to be able to get through that takes a lot of stamina. but I personally feel, and my staff knows this is my number one priority in the field, is that we meet face to face and we help. We don't say, if you can't do it, tough. They're right here with you. And I know from other communities that we've done this in, I get so many kudos about the assistance that Leanne Gleason, I still want to call you Clanahan. You know, that Leanne does. She's probably one of our most knowledgeable water specialists in the state, and just goes way beyond what's expected of her. And Leanne, I really appreciate what you've done to help the city of Edina.
We do too.
Thank you. Back in the back, I don't know, most of you probably haven't met Neil Miller. He is the area director. And you know, we've lost staff, and we've had to stretch our boundaries a little bit more. Neil, I called him one day and I said, I really need you, Neil, to go all the way over to the Iowa border in your service area. Now, he's in St. Joe, which is on Kansas, Nebraska. So quite honestly, he's dealing with the whole north part of the state, and always does what I ask him to do. It's the only way that we would be where we are is with this kind of staff. So Neil, thank you for your leadership over here. I lost Glenda. There she is. She's hiding behind here. Glenda Schaefer works in the Kirksville office and does a little bit of everything. Today she's holding the camera, but wears a lot of multiple hats for us to do what we do. So thank you, Glenda. Yeah. And then Miss Lindsay Cheek is from the New London office, and she does a lot of work in the field, and has also, I called and said, really need you to help with some state office stuff and some other programs, and you know, we just shake our head and say, yes, we'll do what we need. So Lindsay, thank you for your willingness to go outside the realm of normal. I want to tell you one real quick story, and then I'll move on with the money. I know everybody wants the check written real quick, you know, but I want to go back to Earth Day and the importance of the environment and what that means. We're going to go see Head Start kids here, I think, before very long. And the reason that I want to mention this is it's very, very difficult, as I said, to make these sewer systems work and be reasonable for your customers to pay a fee. We happen to have a small town, not much different than the city of Edina, that was trying to give sewer systems. The difference is they didn't have one now and needed one. We had a community meeting down there because that sewer system was going to cost each family in that community, to meet all of the guidelines, was going to cost them $100 a month sewer fee. $100 a month. And we got in that room, and you know, it's really hard for somebody who, and staff who really want to help the community. The money, even if we'd have given 100% grant, if we had it, which we didn't, but if we had and gave them 100% grant because of the maintenance and the annual operating fees and everything, it's still going to be $100 a month. And I had this family, they said, you know, y'all have got, the people in the community, you got to tell me, can you do this? You know, we don't want to walk away from it if you can do it. Can you do this? And their answer was no. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. But here's what did it for me. There was a young couple that came up that had 3 small children hanging on. And they come up to me and they said, Miss Dunny, we appreciate everything. We wish we could make this work because my kids can't go out in the backyard and play because of the sewer seepage in the backyard. I felt about that big because I can't make it happen. I can't make it happen. And I think that's why kids, you know, you think, why are we going to go talk to Head Start about the environment and stuff? That's why. They need to understand. They're the ones that are coming up. They're going to take care of the earth, or take care of our resources. And they can do a lot, even as youngsters right now, and to learn the importance of it. So, again, that makes it even more when I can come in and there's a community that's able to take care of it. And I know those kids aren't going to be playing in sewer seepage in the yard. That means a whole lot. I'm going to go one more direction here. We do what we do on the graces of Congress. We're federal. And, you know, sometimes it's good to be a federal agency and a federal employee. And sometimes, you know, it's hard for everybody to hold their head up high because there's so much bad publicity about government right now. But I'm here to tell you that I am proud, very proud to work for this agency. It's the only agency that's out here in the rural areas trying to help you all with all of your infrastructure, housing, business needs. And I tell my staff this all the time, you've got to hold your head up high. You're doing a great job of doing that. And I say that with a personal, with a lot of personal feeling into it. But where I'm going with this now is we think it's very, very important to celebrate these kind of things because we know how tough it is for communities to get this stage. I don't know how long you've been working on this, but probably a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not something that you just say one day, oh, I think we'll do this, and it happens. It doesn't happen that way. So it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of help, a lot of going. And that's why, even though we're taking a lot of time out of your day, I just feel it's very, very important to celebrate what you all are doing for your residents. And I thank the media, the TV station, that we're actually going to be telling them something positive. This community has worked hard for the rest of the community to provide something so important as a safe sewer system. Because of that, I want our congressional members to know how hard you're working to keep your rural communities going and sustainable. So we always invite them to come celebrate, and boy, do we love to party. So I want to personally go on record saying that we have some of the best congressional staff in the nation, and believe me, I've been to a lot of states. The same support does not happen everywhere. So personally, I want to thank Senator McCaskill, Senator Blunt, Congressman Graves for their support of you rural communities and what you're trying to do. I'd like to introduce in the back is Allison Spear, who is with Senator McCaskill's office. Come on up here. Come on up. Ms. Allison, would you like a few words, son?
Well, I just want to thank the City of Edina for having us today and inviting us out here to see everyone and see what the project is really going to, the impact it will make. Working with Jamie and her staff has been a blessing for the past 3 years through Senator McCaskill's office. You know, we receive a lot of feedback in the state, a lot of feedback from constituents, especially during this critical financial time. And I don't think I've ever had a phone call or Senator McCaskill's ever had feedback saying, let Janie Dunning and her staff, they are terrible. They just can't help you. They just throw the paperwork at you. They're so unhelpful, so unsupportive. I mean, that is the farthest thing from what we hear about Janie and her staff, the work they do out here, as well as the funding and the programs that are being funded out here, the loans, the grants. I would challenge anyone to say that is wasteful spending out here. So thank you to the city for their pursuit of this. Thank you to the staff of the USDA for their help in this. And thank you to the contractor for their help, and we're always here. So thank you.
Thank you. And also with us today is Ray Bogart with Senator Blunt's office. If you want to come on up, Ray.
Thanks, Janie.
Thank you for having me. Always glad to be in Edina. Senator Blunt was just here, just down the road, Novelty at Cardwell Lumber. He understands the challenges facing Knox counties. Just want to congratulate Janie and her team at Rural Development for bringing this funding opportunity, and all the folks that worked hard on behalf of the people in this area for bringing essential services at such a greatly reduced cost. So congratulations.
And I'm just going to close it by just again saying how pleased I am that you are that you're letting Rural Development be a part of your community in a small manner. Thanks again to Leanne and staff for all of the hard work. I look forward to you getting ready to go and to finalize this project. And anytime you want to dance the jig, we'll do it again. All right. Okay. So this is not exactly a check, but it has the same meaning, if that's good enough for you here. This is a certificate of award for the City of Edina in the amount of $2,313,000 loan and a $1,047,000 grant. Funding will be used to improve the centralized wastewater collection and treatment system and meet Missouri DNR requirements. Rural Development applauds Edina for their commitment to the residents and businesses of their community. Congratulations, my friends. You want to do group picture?
I'll make one, two, three.
Yeah, we'll do a big group picture with all of our partners in it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Where can we do that at?